Good day and welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 166, with your hosts. There's three of us.
That's right.
I'm Chris Trott.
Hi, Chris Trott. I'm Ross Hornby.
And
No.
I'm Alex Smith. That's right, otherwise known as Alan. Some people call me Alan. And
I think it's just easier.
I didn't name myself that. That
Who
is
named you
not
Alan?
true. Other people started calling me Alan. I think Trott probably did for a while.
Alan, maybe.
Yeah.
Alan.
Yeah, but you've embraced it.
I like to embrace memes. You know me, know all the memes, don't I? Regularly.
He's always
we regularly
memeing.
have chats about the memes that I know. Loads. Gyat.
That's not a meme. I don't know. Maybe it's a meme.
There's
It's
a
just
new
word,
meme
really.
where I'll keep up to date on the goings on
give
of
us,
the trends.
Chris Trott's
Do you remember
daily
the
meme.
film?
Bigoted robot toilet.
Do you remember the film Kingdom of Heaven?
Yep.
With the
I think so.
I love that film.
leprosy king.
Yep.
I've not seen it. I know.
So TikTok has become obsessed with this king,
Really?
thinking he's really cool.
Kingdom of
Because he's got the
Heaven.
mask and everything, but they're specifically
It's
using.
got Orlando Bloom in it. It's about a guy that goes to Jerusalem.
Right.
He's basically a crusader. He goes
Sure.
to Jerusalem, and then because there was
That's Orlando Bloom.
no, it's not, right. So this is really confusing.
Holy
That's
shit.
Orlando Bloom.
It's got.
That's not Orlando Bloom.
Christ, it looked the
So
same.
the cover and the actual still they use on like Netflix or Amazon is actually not Orlando Bloom,
It's
who's
really
the main
weird.
character.
Right,
It's really
okay.
confusing.
That is bizarre, yeah.
Because it really follows him as well. It's not like they sometimes stick with him. It's like it literally follows him.
It's Netflix doing their A/B testing bullshit. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Probably.
Is it?
Probably.
Either way,
Oh.
they love when he puts his hand up.
Really
It's kind of like I acknowledge you, or
Right.
Oh, I
okay.
see.
and so
Yeah.
people have started doing that in like other contexts of
Fucking
memes
hell.
and stuff.
That's,
Well, good for them. When who
Is
is
it
they in
supposed to
this
be funny?
context? Do you think? Do you think it's people
The
like
TikTok
you?
trend.
Do you think it's people like you?
No,
well, he's not.
So
well,
you're
he's
watching.
not making them, is he? He's not
you're
making them.
watching a trend, but you would think, right? So like with YouTube, yeah, the content you watch sometimes is you kind of watch people who you feel have similar interests to you, or like are interested in the same thing. Sorry, or like somebody you can feel a kinship with, or whatever, right? Like that's I think how a lot of people choose which creators they engage with.
that's what TikTok hopes would happen. Yeah,
That's
with their
right,
algorithm.
really.
But
It's
you
like
feel
mostly
you
random.
describe it as if you're like stood on the banks of a river and you're watching the river go by and you're like, look, there's a strange meme.
So not all of this
No.
comes from my feed. I also just get these TikToks sent to me as well from a variety of sources, so that I keep in tune with the kids.
So you've got a bunch of kids sending you
Crowdsourcing.
memes. Right.
Yeah, and I
How
stay
do you
anonymous.
do that?
I stay
do you subscribe
anonymous.
to like content lists or something?
I stay anonymous, and I have a school email.
I feel like you're being purposely
All of that sounds quite
obtuse
troubling,
here
doesn't it? It sounds
to
troubling.
detract from perhaps what is it? How does it work?
What do you mean?
Tell me. I don't know how TikTok
Well,
works. I've never used it.
You're asking us how
just-
the complex algorithm
No,
of social
but
media.
I'm saying like.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
just
saying
based
there's
on
a
like if you
difference
like something
between-
or you've watched something for long enough, I guess, like you say, like viewer engagement, it'll then start
Yeah.
like showing you similar content to that content. So if it's in the same hashtags, you'll probably get more of that same fucking shit.
No, I get that. What?
So if
but-
he's watched a load of people doing this waving thing, whatever it is, I'm not seeing it. I can't.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
So have you? Is that
Fantastic.
why? That's what.
No,
I'm
I've just
trying
seen
to
it
get
come up, but not on my
Right.
feed.
Okay.
Other
Right.
people have been sending it to me. It's like, this is funny.
Do you guys still use Facebook?
at. Yes, unfortunately,
No,
I haven't used it in years.
it's huge in the LARP community. So you just
Oh, is
have
it
to
really?
use it.
it's
for
very connected.
Every
with
LARP uses it. So like.
because it's like easy to make groups.
Am I
talk-
missing out?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Facebook?
no, I wish I didn't have to use it. I would have deleted
Right.
my Facebook account years ago. If it
Well, yeah,
wasn't
because I
for
never
fucking
deleted
LARP.
it because it feels like there were so many other accounts connected to it through it, right, or whatever. Like you have to sign
Yeah.
up through Facebook.
used to feel
I don't know
like-
if that's necessarily the case now, but
Yeah.
I'm worried that Discord's going the same route, because Discord used to be the most efficient way of like instant communication with people, but now I have so many servers that
Yeah. Oh, it's
a
a
lot of them
mess.
get lost in the noise.
it's a fucking mess. It needs
It's
to
not
be,
a great
it
UI.
it needs new, like
Yeah.
like an overhaul.
It needs a reimagining.
Because like, what if you wanted to have multiple chats open at once? You just open up 2 instances of Discord.
You can't.
You just can't.
You just can't do that.
You can't tab it.
So, well, you
can't
can make
tabs?
multiple web sites.
But
yeah.
it's shit. That's shit, isn't it? To do
Yeah,
the
it's
fact that
not.
you're like, oh, I'm in 2 different servers. I want to go. I mean, this is very. I mean, I don't know if this is chat you want to fucking listen to, but that does annoy me about that. About
Uh,
this.
yeah,
I get you
So if
there.
you are
I
a
do
Discord
understand.
user,
I think a lot of
maybe
people
you share
agree.
similar things. I don't know, but
Discord's not perfect.
No.
Definitely not.
But it's also
But then,
people are using
Skype
it.
died very quickly. Even though
Skype did die.
Yeah,
best
Skype
opportunity
literally
in its
had a
life. It
pandemic.
was handed a play like this pandemic play and just fucking shat itself all over.
Zoom won.
It was like, nah, I'm shitty, and then Zoom and whatever took over.
But Zoom's fucked
and
as well.
Teams is
Like
shit.
Zoom it was a huge gargantuan thing that everyone learnt about the word zooming in the pandemic as well, and even that is flopping quite hard. And like when we talk to people like in the business world and they're like, oh, do you want to hop on Zoom? I'm always like, oh,
Not really.
not really. I don't really know how. I don't use Zoom. Can we just like? I still use Discord.
Discord is easier for that. In that sense,
I use Discord all the time. Yeah, it's just
It's
not
just
great.
It's better
there
for
are
collaboration.
foibles, yeah.
But it's not good for when every company uses it as support.
Yeah.
Like, join us on support on Discord
Right,
specifically, and then you'd signed up to all these individual software or website related Discords that just get a massive annoyance. Yeah, super annoying.
Did
Anyway.
you ever used to, like, when MSN was a thing, it would just be like,
Messenger.
you're going to be on MSN tonight?
MSN
Yeah.
Messenger,
As if you're
yeah.
sat there just like,
Oh
I'm on
yeah,
it.
well people would
I
be
know,
though.
but like, isn't
You got
that,
limited time on the
you would do
internet.
that now. I guess you just assume everyone's got it in their pocket, but like,
Well, also,
it's just like,
you didn't have to devote all of your PC's processing power to it.
I know, yeah, but it's just like,
There's not much
you're gonna be
else on that
it as
PC
if,
as
like,
well.
Yeah.
Are you going to be on your phone
Yeah.
at some point tonight? It's just an interesting way.
And everybody's-
I remember
yeah,
like I
yeah.
think maybe I was like 15 or something, and I lived in like a little village, in Hardington, and Hardington Moor, and
wow, that sounds very Tory, doesn't it? Just
and we were in this house that was like I had a little dark little room with my bedroom with my PC set up, and I still had a CRT at this point. I had a really nice CRT, but it was a CRT,
yeah.
massive thing, and I would play half an hour of Delta Force something or another, which was like some very early 2000s like tactical shooter game, right? And you like parachuted in, then you did this little mission, and then that was about half an hour, and then I just stopped playing that, and then go on MSN Messenger for an hour and a half, and then play Final Fantasy VII on my PlayStation.
Yeah,
that was
I
like
used to
that
do
was
console stuff a lot.
because like you couldn't spend a whole evening on a PC as easily because it just wasn't as multimedia. You know, you would like it would.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, in the early. Well, God,
There's so much to do on a
before,
PC now.
Well, when the internet wasn't as fucking good, it was nice having a computer, but then like, you were just struggling to think of what to do with it. I'd play Roller Coaster Tycoon a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, that was great.
Awesome.
Fucking,
Yeah,
I played Desert Strike a
Smash the shit
lot.
out of Roller Coaster.
Remember
Oh,
Desert
that's the
Strike?
helicopter game.
The like top-down
So
little
good.
helicopter game.
Yeah, such a good game. Yeah.
But also, you have to have a computer that actually run those things.
Yeah.
The original GTAs. They were shit to play, really. Like,
I had
They
those
were
on
all
the
console, right?
PlayStation.
Yeah.
I
I
on
played all-
PC. Oh,
I,
I
as
on
in,
PC.
oh, the original GTA.
Yeah, original
GTA.
Like,
I never had those.
The
They
British
were
one.
top down,
Yeah.
like weird little spud bodies.
Yeah.
The
They did.
Going
design,
back to it now, it's just like
They did a London one.
It's
Yeah,
such a
yeah,
different
yeah.
game. It's kind of crazy how it's morphed into what it is.
the leap to 3D was a complete.
GTA 3 was incredible.
Yeah, unbelievable. You suddenly had that world in front of you that you
Yeah.
could like look around. The limitation with the top down is your view is always limited to
Yeah.
the screen.
Tops of buildings,
And
yeah.
So like, wow. But yeah, really cool to see.
Yeah. That's a little trip down.
Trip down our
memory
past
lane.
Yeah.
On the computer.
before a lot of people were born.
Yeah, a lot of people drop. Probably like at least
tons.
1 billion people.
Tons of them.
Tons of them hadn't been born 35 years
That
ago.
might also be part of this new smoking ban.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that.
2009 onwards, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a
Oh, yeah,
tricky
did
decision.
that pass through?
What do you think?
Well, I think it's odd because, like, if you were, because I've heard some of the arguments about it where, well, you know, if you're like, someone's 50 years old and you're 49, and you're 49, you're not allowed it, but 50 you are, like, people are gonna find ways to smoke tobacco
Yeah.
or import it from somewhere. But I
Yeah.
mean, I agree with the sentiment of like trying to remove it from people. I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't really smoke myself, so I don't really feel like I have a skin in
Any
the
other
game.
drug, I'd be.
But they're not going to do the same for alcohol, are they? So it's like, I don't know.
Well, I think smoking.
I thought it's become less of a thing anyway, right? Smoking.
It has, yeah. Apparently, the biggest age bracket is R1
Right,
for
okay.
smokers.
Is it?
It's about 6 million people in the UK that still
Yeah.
smoke,
Yeah.
and it's our age bracket, like
Oh.
25 to 35
Interesting.
is the majority of smokers.
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
the older generation have given it up or have died,
And the younger generation are all vaping.
and the younger
you think
generation
that
are vaping. Yeah.
Nips the idea of, because obviously you've seen Germany has made weed recreational weed. I don't know if there's like a limit on how much you can have or whatever, but it's
Yeah, it is.
technically legal or not
Yeah.
illegal to have it.
I think, yeah.
And I think you can only consume it in certain places.
Yeah.
Something like that. Which is the same in Amsterdam, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think it's like just a free-for-all, but the fact that it's not...
It's personal
illegal
use laws, basically.
Yeah.
It's just grow for yourself,
do you think
consume yourself,
this law
don't
would
bother
affect
other
that
people with
law
it?
if that ever came into UK law? Because, I mean, surely, like, there's a lot of people who would mix tobacco with weed but wouldn't have access to tobacco.
When
it's like, well,
I don't think it's going to pass.
Then it's just like, then you've just got to have the
Yeah, I think so.
It might, but I don't think it will, because ultimately it's just silly.
It's made the first hurdle.
I know it has. Yeah. No,
I think it'll go for a bit, and then they'll get to a point where it's just like, well, we don't want to ban things, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, it's something that's going to affect some 15-year-olds now.
Yeah,
and up.
The thing is, banning it is not the way to get, like, already, like you say, young people smoking people smoking cigarettes is not what's happening. They're vaping, and there's nicotine. It basically is all about the nicotine, really. And the way to stop young people smoking is to continue doing what they've been doing.
Make it cool and call it something else, like vaping.
Yeah, exactly. Is the way to do it. Do the opposite of that, which is what they've been doing. Remove it from public view. Don't make it cool.
Yeah.
Explain to people the risks of it. Tax the hell out of it.
Part of this ban is also to remove the marketing angle for kids of vaping. I think they just focus on that, really.
Well, this is the thing.
There's no point outlawing things because people will just then get black market nicotine, and also it'll become cooler. It'll become cool again. They've done a really good job of making smoking not cool now.
Yeah.
And it, by outlawing it, it's like, oh, well, you're there, just some backy. Oh, nice. It makes it more exciting again. All of a sudden,
being able to access it, but then just limiting on where you can do these certain things is probably the better way around it, right?
Yeah.
Than completely banning.
It's just not consistent with the progressive society to ban things like.
Well, it is still
not all things. I mean, just like outlawing.
Like
substances.
I was saying, like weed, for example, or things like that. If it just affects the user, I'm okay with it. But smoking has so many knock-on effects on people around them, secondhand smoke, and also the effect on NHS.
Well, this is the thing. I haven't seen that argument anywhere about the NHS thing, which is weird. I would have thought that'd be number
8
one.
billion is spent on.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I would have thought that'd be number one at the top of what I've heard about it, but that wasn't the first argument. Which you would think
that is weird.
The first argument is like, oh, by the way, our country is spending X amount on people who just want to fuck their lungs up, and that's fine. Yeah. Like if they want to do that themselves.
I'm all for,
but at the same time, we're technically paying for it as a country. So I guess there are those elements which
the argument here
encourage you to like want to ban it or at least reduce its access, but
not to
there's
protect
also drinking.
The tobacco companies, but like. The counter argument to that would be that tobacco companies would pay enough in tax every year within the country to help alleviate the additional burden on the NHS. Of course, that relies on proper tax infrastructure, which we don't have. But like it's
not very preventative.
It's hard to argue that when you could just say,
well, that's just like what I'm saying, that carbon tax thing, where it's like offsetting your carbon or whatever it is, where you just pay other people to.
Yeah, I mean, it's all tacit.
So you can
it's all bullshit.
Pissing in the river. Yeah.
But the thing is, like, what we're trying to do here is like, you always got to remember, it's not about like, it's about pinning somebody to the floor with an unassailable truth. I think when you're trying to argue for these things, it's like, people will say something like that. People will come out and go, well, yeah, it costs the NHS 8 billion, and then it's like, yeah, well, the tobacco industry is one of the great giants. Like, it's unfortunately been a legacy of hundreds of years of trade. The tobacco industry, you would hope, would pay a huge amount of tax within your country, which, yes, 8 billion of which is going to be spent on trying to treat the people that chose to pay for that tobacco. But at the same time, if they generate more tax than it costs to heal the people that were hurt by the tobacco product, you could use the extra profits from that tax to improve your welfare system for others. And that should be how taxing a free market or corporate entity should work. And that's what people like the Tories in this country pretend is going on. But the thing is, they just don't have a grip on any of these things. Then they don't have they just can't. It's like fucking Liz Truss and people like that. They're like they think they've got this genius like libertarian tax-free utopia idea, but it's like, all right, try and fucking do it then. And then they try and do it and they just fail completely because it's too.
She's back. Don't worry.
Too difficult to do.
She's got a book.
Yeah.
Book doesn't mean she's back.
She's just radical.
Yeah. It's a really complicated one. I think initially I was like, yes, they should ban smoking, because I was like, ultimately, I don't want people to die from getting addicted to cigarettes, because I have vaped in the past. I understand what nicotine addiction feels like. I quit twice and I now have quit completely, and it's like, I understand the ritual of smoking, I understand like the ways people enjoy it, all that sort of stuff, but ultimately, like, in the quiet times in your day when you're just smoking because you need to smoke, those are the ones that just cost you. There's no upside to that, and that is because of the nicotine. That's not because of personal choice. So I think trying to stop people and getting enslaved through substances is a noble cause.
They're not going for alcohol, which I'd argue is probably more damaging.
It's not as addictive. It's not as addictive. The problem, what I'm saying is addiction. Also, addiction is a factor.
I suppose
here.
With alcohol, you aren't exactly, when you're drinking, you know, I'm not splashing some in your face at the same time. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to consume it just because I'm consuming it.
Yeah.
But yes, you know.
But there's the other effects, quite, like drunken disorder and all that.
Yeah.
So.
And there's also, I mean,
that's our culture, guys.
Well, I mean,
what we do without our culture.
It's deeply embedded.
There is, I do believe that people need stress relief, and there's a remarkable. I mean, some people do use sex as stress relief.
Yeah, but publicly.
Not if they're doing it on street corners.
That's what
I think we'd all have a thing to say if we're like, well, he's just releasing himself.
I think we should.
But at least he's not smoking.
Yeah.
A less prudy nature.
Cock's in his head.
There's like a hierarchy of at least. I mean, but I think it's interesting just from the perspective of like, you're all trying to work out what the fuck to do, what the best way to do life is, you, as a person, and then you see governments try and do it for other people, but you personally, and you're like, right, I like smoking. Like, I've met plenty of people that just like smoking, and they're like, I understand it will damage me and it will probably hurt me. Just like a person who eats too much and doesn't exercise enough, they're like, well, I understand it's probably going to have a downside, but I like eating, you know? Like, it's this balance between trying to prescribe a good life for people and also giving people the personal freedom, and that, I think, is just a fascinating thing in general. But when you start to factor things in, like business and human habits, and I think I've said this to you guys before, it seems to me the best 3 businesses in the world involve sugar, nicotine, and caffeine. All 3 of those things are like the most highly addictive legal substances we can get our hands on, and think about all the companies that exist around those 3 products. Like, I think that addictive substances should, like, of any kind, should be at least considered or factored into like the market that we exist in, right? Like as in like all the things you eat, all the things you consume. Yeah, it is. But governments, and our governments that we elect, and like, you know, we the people, really should be the ones to be able to say like stuff like this. So it's really like nuanced.
Well, I guess it's all about the grand stage as well. Yeah. It's like our little country imposes a ban on addictive properties or a restriction on it. We become less powerful on the stage, and therefore, as a country, have less trade, and therefore our quality of life is diminished.
There's a trade element to it.
I'm just looking at the devil's advocate argument here, but there's probably a reason why.
But then equally, I think that people should have the right to destroy themselves.
As long as it doesn't affect others.
Yeah, exactly.
Which it always will. It always will.
Well, yes, it often does. Exactly.
Because it affects the loved ones,
not
but also
always. Like, you know, like euthanasia, beds. For example, like is an example. Yeah, it's same argument. You know, like euthanasia. It's like cigarettes is a real slow version of that. You're still choosing it.
It still affects other people.
It does. No, I know what you're saying, and alcohol especially, and drugs as well. It's a tough one to hammer out, but yeah, I do think you should, you know, hopefully.
But if they ban that, so they probably won't legalise weed.
I don't know, man. I think they're going to have to eventually, but it's not on the high priority of anybody. Like Keir Starmer, Labour.
It's funny you mentioned the tax thing, because I imagine that would have been a good selling point of like, oh, we can add X amount of tax. Because if you tell people now, like, oh, you know, it's legal, I don't think people are going to rush out and, you know, go crazy.
Yeah.
I guess Germany will be the one to look at for evidence of that. I guess. Well, they've just legalized
done it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So they've just legalized.
Right,
I think that it won't be necessarily a matter of it.
But definitely not in public. I don't think it's just not allowed in public. I think that's the thing.
When's crack cocaine?
Well, this is it. I mean,
like street
legalize
crack.
everything, and then you can
the good stuff.
You can just sell it on the shops.
But this is why I'm saying about addiction.
And then tax
like,
it all.
So the problem, I thought about this for a long time. I was always like, legalization or prohibition.
Portugal, we did that.
Yeah. But the problem is when there are different classes of drugs basically. Weed is a lot less harmful to society than opioids are. You know, we can see that. Like we can
It makes people
tell.
very violent and crazy.
Well, yeah, but like also
That's what they tell you.
opioids are
It's
so
kinda- it's-
addictive.
yeah,
like
yeah, of course.
like they destroy you. So like making all drugs legal is probably not possible, because if you made
No.
all opioids legal, fuck
People
me,
would be so sleepy.
it'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, there'd be just nothing.
It
nothing
would be a
nothing
fucking
would,
nightmare.
productivity would take a hit. I think that's probably one of the fears that they actually have.
That's the big worry, isn't
What?
it?
Is that
From what?
productivity from legalizing weed? Is that
But you could argue that
Our workers are
acts
just
as a
getting high
stress
all the
relief
time.
that means they may be happier
it,
in their
yeah.
work and produce more in less time.
That's probably
Yeah.
why sugar tax actually went through. It's because sugar's obviously quite bad for productivity in the grand scheme, because it promotes
Causes
weight
health
gain
problems,
and
yeah.
health
Yeah,
problems.
exactly,
so
yeah.
you're not going to live a long, productive
Yeah.
labour life.
How long until the government just creates just like a slurm? For
Like a
us all
sugar
to-
slurp.
just literally
Sludge.
A nicotine sugar
just
combo.
not with those things in it, but just like the perfect thing you just have to eat, like Huel, but
We're getting there.
government fed Huel, where it's
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
this is what you have to have now. You can't have anything else. Too much sugar, it's going to make you fat.
This is going to the equilibrium way of thinking.
It's just going to be where we have to just
No
eat pills every
emotions.
day.
I was reading a really, that's me taking the tube.
Yeah, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
from
I
it,
figured
of course,
that
I was
out.
doing that. I was reading an interesting Reddit post this morning about what do you think is like, what's your hot take for for 2050, and like
Okay.
all the things that people were talking about. Let me just try and quickly roll my mind back to see some of the things they were talking
That's
about. Well,
26
they were
years
basically
from
talking
now.
about this. They were saying like, oh, people will be doing this, people will be doing that, and one of the things one person's, oh no, I don't really want to get into AI again, but like they were saying like basically AI is just going to go the same way as search engines, and it'll all just be AI, like the highest bidders products will be suggested, or the highest bidders way of doing things will be suggested, and
More
like,
than likely.
Yeah.
let me just see if I can find it quickly.
Apparently half of the internet is inhabited by bots now.
Yeah, yeah, I can believe that. Definitely.
What, just in what regard of like
In terms of
Okay, so
people
commenters
accessing it
and using
and
it?
utilising it.
the response
There are
was
as many bots as there are
Serving, okay.
humans.
AI responses to all questions will be sponsored, and your responses that favour the advertiser rather than objective response based on available evidence.
Well, I imagine by that time they have enough information on you, just that they've collected through all the cookies throughout all these years, so they've
Mhm.
just forced us to say yes to them, essentially.
Yeah.
They'll
another-
know exactly what you want anyway. So you'll be like actually thankful that they've advertised that to you.
Thank you.
Some
Thank
people
you. For,
suggest
I
that
almost
there
forgot
may
to
be
order.
Sorry, I didn't know you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
about to stop
okay.
talking. Some people said that they thought there'd be a form of new age Amishness where we're all going to see an influx of people avoiding social media and phone culture as a lifestyle choice. People are tired of algorithms and manipulation and
I
things
think people
like
do that now, though.
Yeah, I think it's starting.
People are quite loud about it when
Yeah.
they do. They're like, "Oh, I've never used this." I mean, my comments about Facebook at the beginning
Yeah.
probably highlight an element of that. I mean, I
These
use
are all
other
kind of
social medias, but
novel-
still.
Novel things that you can remove but still be integrated in society.
Yeah.
Like Amish is like a full detachment.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they can knock up a house real quick.
Droll. Yeah, barn raising. I was thinking about this the other day. I'd love to raise a barn.
They do it real quick.
Oh, you want to raise a barn?
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, they do. Like they all come together, like lots of families, to like create a new little like.
Oh, so you don't treat it like a child.
No, you do a barn raising.
You're raising the barn.
Yeah. I mean, I would try and teach it to
They put that fucker up
drive.
in like 2 days.
I know, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's so good. It's
I
like
can't get over that.
it's like having
really
master carpenters just
Yeah.
come in and smack it all
good. Obviously,
together.
there's like hundreds of them, but still, it
Hundreds of
feels
them.
like a good productivity. We got a barn
Yeah, it's awesome.
this week. We managed to build a barn, guys.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
We're
nice.
all in it.
That's
We
pretty
stood in
cool.
it.
So another prediction was grown-up children of YouTube family vloggers will start dropping Mummy Dearest style exposés about their horrible childhoods, and laws will be imposed against the whole practice. I think
I guess
this needs to happen like now.
that's a good point because like it's all this stuff is so new that like until that shit comes out like
Yeah.
years later, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh right, that's the effect it had on all these kids, watching.
YouTube and
But then we
YouTube
won't
while
have
they were eating.
shocking documentaries about it, Ross. If they solve the
Oh,
problem
I
straight
know.
away,
Oh, no, of
we
course.
won't get quiet on
a
set
few
too.
Oh, yeah, of
exposés
course. Yeah.
beforehand. Yeah.
It's so fucked.
Interesting,
It's such a niche though. Like, there's not that many YouTuber families.
There's quite a lot.
I mean, there's quite a
well,
lot.
I mean, there's
YouTube,
more than one is enough for me.
True. Yeah.
Like these parents are just fucking.
Yeah, but there was that one
just
woman who was abusing her
destroying
kids.
their children's childhoods.
I'm guessing that's the story you read about
What?
that woman who abused
Oh,
her
yeah, that
kids,
was one of
and
them.
then
Yeah,
she got
yeah.
arrested not long
Yeah.
ago. Well, yeah, she had a family of like 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah.
But like didn't feed them properly and like punished them by like keeping them in cellars and stuff. It was really fucking dark. It's like what the hell.
Mhm.
And then she had a YouTube channel where she was like really like bright and chirpy
Oh
and
my
like
god.
wheeled her kids out for the camera. It's just like what the fuck is this it's great.
Unhinged.
Yeah, family stuff is odd. I'm surprised YouTube doesn't crack down on it themselves, or like at least do some sort of welfare check if that's something that's become really popular. Because remember, was it? They're called shaytards, which in itself, as the name is, already a question.
Yeah, whole family YouTube.
Yeah, that was probably one of the earlier kind of examples of a family
like pranks
YouTubers.
and stuff on each other all the time.
Yeah. What an exhausting way to live your life as well. Just, is Dad going to prank us again?
And also like just the reality.
Nervous
for the
about
kids.
walking into my home.
Like that's their life.
Yeah, I know.
Is in an entertainment show. It's like the Osbournes.
There's elements of it that look like are probably really, really fun for them. Where it's just like, oh yeah, Dad's doing a really fun like thing
very
again.
active.
And it's just like, oh, but he's filming it for profit and like for views and all.
And you're only
stuff.
seeing the happy side of this.
Yeah. There's different sides. So like obviously if it's
is all the energy in the video content, and when they stop pressing record, it's like back to berating. And
fucking hell, Casey! I said smile when the raccoon shits his pants.
Shit. So
that's it. Yeah, exactly. You can't turn your family into a business like that. I mean, you can. I mean, obviously that's a silly comment to say because you could have like a pizzeria or something with a family, but like as in filming them all, filming kids and stuff. Like that's such a
utilizing them as the product. I think is the thing, right?
Not working together for a shared goal. It's a very different situation when
kids can't consent.
What about father and son OnlyFans though? I think that should still be okay.
We discussed that once before, haven't we?
That should be totally fine.
Well, I hope it's okay, Trott, because I've sent like 40, 50 quid in tips this month, so I'm hoping they send me the special.
It's a great up and coming niche.
Special baby boy package.
Daddy's favourite slut.
Daddy's
did we discover
favourite
what they were
littles.
doing on that content? They were just kind of posing. With
No.
shirtless. Were they doing?
Dude, no, they were like fucking wanking in the shower together. They were actually father and son, and they were wanking naked in the shower together. They weren't wanking each other off, as far as I know, but they were doing.
Look, guys, we're just old hat generation.
Yeah, I think we are.
This is the new progressive
I'm
generation.
old and bigoted, and I can't handle this level of sexual expressivity.
We're too prudish.
Yeah, expressiveness. Yeah.
It's what all the dads and sons are doing.
I'm sad to admit on the internet that I wouldn't have sex with my dad.
I don't think he doesn't have sex with his dad. To be fair to him, I
wouldn't film sexual acts with my dad.
Well, yeah, that is what he's doing.
Thank you for clarifying.
No, I don't think I do that either.
If you were watching hat films all this time,
hoping that might become it.
I'm so sorry, it's not happening.
It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that Joe Lycett thing. So Joe Lycett set up a load of fake news things. That Tishmarsh story is true.
I can't believe it.
For more context.
So last week.
Yeah, week before last, in fact, because I think we had Craig on last week. We didn't do any funny news, but then the week before there was a story about Alan Tishmarsh.
Alan Tishmarsh.
For some reason, his first name just
not Alec.
Came out of my head then. He was in the news for his genes in North Korea being censored, and we thought that was a bit of a silly story. And then Joe Lycett said that he planted a load of fake news stories. We thought that was one of them, but apparently
the double cervix one wasn't either.
And that wasn't mentioned either. No, I think that again, that was probably just literally, like you say, advertising our OnlyFans or some weird shit. Right. One of the articles was about H from Steps getting his own statue in his hometown. Ian Watkins, not the bad one. Well, that's debatable. But H from Steps, he isn't getting a statue. So
damn it.
Sad, isn't it?
That's not real news.
It's not real news.
I don't think he really deserves one. I mean, who the fuck deserves one? Oh God! We live in Bristol. Statues are not a subject.
Statues in the town square. I mean, if the mayor came up to you and said, "Oh, we're going to make an Alan Smith a statue just right in the middle of the fountains,"
I'd be like, "All right."
You'd be like, "Wow, sure. What do we have to do? I have to pose for about half an hour. Well, I'd take a photo. In fact, they'll just do a 3D scan.
3D scan, 3D print.
Half an hour of your time, 3D scan you in, and then that's it. And you'll be on there in the next few weeks.
I'd have a few conditions, but I'd be up for it.
Like what?
I'd want to work with a person like a retouching artist to try and make me look more handsome.
Bulk you out.
Bulk me out a bit. Maybe make my jaw ridiculous, like that guy from that meme. You know, the one where
right. So you're going to go up there like a caricature.
Yeah, well, the jaw will be huge because in future, in hundreds of years, when Bristolians haven't chucked me in the river, they'll look back on and be like, wow, people back then had massive jaws. I just want to do with it to fuck with people in the future.
Right. So,
yeah.
But I think that's
and I want a coin slot in my butt.
I get the impression that's what they did with a lot of oil paintings. I feel like they probably still photoshopped it to a degree in the sense that I'll beautify all these bits here and there.
Especially considering how inbred most royals were at that time.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I got a proposition.
Still are. Yeah.
Propose.
A hypothetical, if you will.
Oh no! On this podcast.
On this podcast. So A statue's being made of you.
Right.
You've been asked to do a statue. It's going to be pure gold.
Yep.
And you're getting
Pure
paid.
gold?
You're getting paid 10 million.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
The statue is you naked, cuddling your naked dad
Wow.
in the middle of the city centre.
I think my dad would probably say that's fine if it's 10 millions on the. I mean,
And
10
one
millions
of you is
big money,
erect.
Trott.
So there's two of us cuddling, and it's a gold
two of you-
statue.
gold
Is it solid gold?
Solid gold.
Two of us.
Can I have a bigger dick than that David statue?
You can
'Cause-
have slight touch-ups, but
Trott, I'm going to take the statue instead of the money.
you can't
Wait.
take the statue.
I want the statue.
Wait. You
That's-
want the pure gold?
That's probably about
It's
50
worth
million
more.
pounds worth of gold. If
Solid all the way
they're
through,
too
it's not
solid,
hollowed,
so
it's not
considering
plated.
I weigh 100 kilograms.
We'll go to prison. Everyone's going to know you stole it.
That statue's going to be worth so much more than 10 mil.
As
I
soon
want
as that's
more.
gone-
I would go into negotiations. I'd say I want a coin slot in my
Melt
arsehole,
that down.
and all of the money. I want a bunker built under the gold statue. So I don't want to fill up the statue with the coins. I want it to drop through the statue into
a little
this huge
Is it
pot
secured?
underneath.
Is it a secure?
And my family gets
It's
that
in a
money.
cage, yeah. And
It's in a
like
cage. I was gonna say because you could just go up to it with a little blowtorch and just kind of collect some gold.
It's in a
from the side.
cage. I don't want my statue in a cage.
Well, it'll be visible.
No,
I want it
no,
in a
your cock's in the
glass.
cage.
I want it in a glass.
All right, it's in like an apple
Like an
style.
apple style. Yeah, I want that exactly.
Glass
That's what I
cage.
want. I want an
Right,
apple
okay.
style
But it's like
installation.
highly reinforced.
Why are they giving me this statue?
That
Yeah,
is
well,
out of
that's
the
a
question.
different
That is
question,
under NDA, and you're not being.
And I'm not
disclosed.
allowed to know why
You're
a
not allowed to
statue
know,
of me
but you've been slipped a-
cuddling my naked dad.
It's just art,
I
okay?
mean, definitely would for 10 million.
How are you cuddling him?
You could make any kind of statue
In
of
what,
me for 10
There's
million.
sexual connotations.
Is one of you behind the other, like, or are you hugging him from the front?
You could literally dress me up as any dictator
from
for
the
10
side?
million. Huh?
How was the hug?
They make you flip a coin as well,
Yeah.
and if it's like heads, they note it down.
Imagine the taxpayers.
And then-
Imagine the taxpayers, the council
They'd hate
taxpayers
that.
in that city. They're like, what the fuck have you just built? How much is that?
When the statue's
Yeah.
built, one of you, based on the heads or tails, is erect.
All right, okay. One of you's being erect. Look, I say build it because the outrage from it's going to be
Sensational.
insane.
I'm going to do so many
Because
deals.
people will be just like, why the fuck have you built this statue after all the other statue business?
And I'll tell them,
this is what you've gone for.
if I'm honest with you, I don't know why it's being built. It's under quite a strict NDA.
Yeah.
I've been told I've been paid 10 million. I'm a victim. I was try and guess.
Yeah.
I'll try and tell them.
Okay, new one.
Yep.
Right.
It's a not golden statue, but
Right.
it's a beautiful statue
Yeah.
of you, full Nazi garb.
Oh.
20 million.
So
Fucking
that,
hell.
but what's
Yes.
Doing
20
a
million.
salute.
Immediate yes.
You're
Yeah.
doing-
You could do anything to me for 10
Because the
million.
thing is, the issue here is that doesn't have any reflection on the person as much as the reflection on the people putting
Yeah,
it up
exactly,
in the town
Trott.
square.
Yeah. So whilst I'm driving down the road with my 20 million, you're there in cuffs.
He's driving past in a Ferrari.
Visionary art
He's
director
like,
who paid 20 million to dress man up as Nazi against will under strict NDA.
All my
It's
investors
bizarre.
are pretty pissed. Right
Yeah, yeah.
they're like,
I
they
did
made
not
some
pitch
very
this to
weird
them.
choices.
Why do you keep doing this, Mr. Trott? Honestly, I'm not sure.
Money is power.
money is power, bro.
And I've gone mad with it. Yeah, that would be mad. I mean, so, I'm
How low would you
surprised.
go?
How low?
So 20 million is an insane amount of
20
money.
million is an insane amount of money. Like
About-
What do I need to do exactly?
You're not
You
doing
are
anything but
hyper realistic recreation statue of you and a Nazi.
authorized.
How long does it stay there for?
You're making it official that you.
It's
said
extremely
fine.
well built and protected.
It's really well
How
built.
long does it stay there for?
Carved into the mountain.
Could you imagine if they did that? in
That's
Bristol?
different, isn't it?
It would become a national pastime to try and break into that fucking thing. It's like, yeah, you're gonna try and do the statue this weekend. Yeah. Here they got dogs now. Yeah, they've got this 80-foot
It's
mega
insane.
fence. It's nuts. It's like Takeshi's
You got a
castle.
private army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All to
I
just.
think a carving in the side of a rock feels so much more permanent than a statue.
On the cliffs of
So
Dover.
on the cliffs of Dover, you
Overlooking
have your
France.
face, but then on the center of your forehead is a swastika carved.
How
in.
often do people see it?
Again, it's
All
more
the
of a statement
truck
on whoever
drivers.
built it. It's not really the fact. It could be Smith's. It could be anyone's face. It's whoever's fucking decided to build that and authorize it is the one in trouble. Like, I just don't think there's any way you can possibly put that on there, and it's just the council will have a few phone calls.
Wow, I know. When I saw it, I was shocked. It looked so much like me. I couldn't believe
I was
it.
like, it looks just like me.
What a coincidence!
But Nazi version. Oh, right, okay, Nazi version.
Speeds off in his
Weird.
Porsche.
Anyway, I've got a boat to buy.
Yeah,
Oh, is that my yacht?
yeah, that'd be weird. Not for me.
I'd do it for like
It sounds like you would do
probably
it.
$1
though.
million. Less probably 500,000.
Would you rather the cuddling the father
Huh?
statue for
Yes,
10?
probably.
rather than 20 mil.
Well, sorry, which one? You're choosing. You'd rather
You have
be.
to get 3D scan with your naked dad.
Was that part of it?
Well, yeah, that's how they're going to get the.
It has to be accurate.
They need the data.
That would be very awkward. I guess I'll be the Nazi.
You'd rather be an Nazi than hug his naked dad. That's
a lot about.
a sentence.
You know,
I thought I'd say.
a lot of Nazis, I think.
Fucking hell. Well,
very
shit.
weird.
That was the hypothetical.
Right,
You got your answer.
My hypothetical.
A thing I put here is Fallout because that came out.
Whoa,
I keep
fuck, he's
actually
gone.
tapping
He's
this.
gone. He's just impaled his ass.
Fallout, the series is out, and it's fucking good. It's really
I've watched
good.
one episode
Josh
now.
watched one. I've watched all of them.
I'll at least have some
6 or-
context.
Yeah, 6.
No spoilers, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's just well worth watching if you get the chance to watch it.
It is.
It portrays the Fallout world quite well, I think.
Probably
I'm not really
better
that-
than people that tried the game and didn't really get on with it.
Yeah, I'd say
it's more
so.
colourful. That's why.
is,
It's
yeah.
much more
It
soaked
is
in
more
colour.
Not so janky as well.
Yeah.
Very gory.
Yeah.
Extremely
at times as
gory.
well. Yeah.
Way more gory than I thought it was going to be.
But it does it in a video game-ish way.
It's like so
I think
over
there
the
is-
top that it's goes back around again to being not
pretty
that
well
bad.
done. And yeah, from the similar makers or the writers as Westworld.
Mhm.
So I got that vibe straight away from the first episode. That very Westworldy, which is great.
Here's
I
a
love
fun
Westworld.
fact for you.
Throw it at me.
The guy, what's his name again? That has the
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins is in this franchise
He's
when the
cool.
bomb fell, and as a result of the bomb, the director of Oppenheimer is his brother. That made a whole film about the bomb dropping.
Wow.
Wait, who's? You mean the direct? Is it Josh Nolan? And
So Jonathan Nolan
John is the guy that's
who
in
is
this.
related to Christopher Nolan,
Yeah.
who we know from director fame.
Which is Oppenheimer.
But Jonathan-
Which is the
Yeah.
link you're making.
I think he do- I think he wrote
I was
and
just
directed
trying to work out who was linked to
Some
who.
episodes.
What about Coggins?
Goggins is an actor.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think his brother is also in Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Okay.
in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought
So
you
just
meant
there's the links between
Not the director, sorry.
I
bombs
don't listen to
going
anything
on.
I'm
I
saying.
said director and
right.
I wasn't correct. with
Yeah, you've confused them. I've confused them further. You've learned very little. Stay on the Hat Chat podcast.
Did they ever learn anything? Do you ever learn anything? I don't know. There's not really much feedback on the Hat Chat podcast,
that.
but
It's not about learning.
it isn't about.
It
It's
isn't
about
about
distracting
that.
you
Never
from
been
your
about learning.
horrible reality.
Yeah, look around you now. Now look back.
At what?
That was enough.
We highly
They're
recommend.
listening to this.
Yeah, still look. You can
Look around. Now listen back.
No, yeah, look around you. Soak in your environment. Then close your eyes.
Close
and
your
you're
eyes
back.
and listen
and
to
you're
my
back.
voice.
It's fine. Everything's okay.
Don't do mindfulness. You'll realise what's around you, and it sucks.
Yeah. Brick wall, bit of
Not real.
plaster.
Not real.
Nothing's real.
What's
around
that sound? That's-
No
that's-
windows.
No windows.
No,
I had
actually,
a, I had
no
a
windows.
dream, by the way,
you.
that
What, no
You
windows?
not another one.
You don't
I had
drink.
a
You need to
dream.
eat less cheese.
I had a
I
dream
think that's
where
what the correlation
all of this was all glass,
Oh, nice.
and suddenly everyone could see us, and there was loads of people that we'd never met before. I was like,
Watching us like
What are they
like
doing?
we're in a zoo.
yeah,
Like a
but because we're like
YouTuber
in
zoo.
the middle of this block, kind of, everyone could just watch us. Huge panes
Is
of
that dream or
glass.
fantasy?
I started
Like
wanking.
everyone could see.
I don't know. It definitely seems to
Doesn't
be
matter where
something
you
to
are,
learn
you can
from
see.
whatever you experienced there.
I wasn't shocked. I was just like pointing at everyone out there. So you can see me. I can see you. That was my dream.
That was cool. I mean, yeah.
Great. Fucking hell.
I don't think we'll be installing Windows anytime soon.
Well, we didn't have a choice. It just,
we
just
were removing
happened.
them when we came in.
yeah, we got rid of that one
Got rid
behind
of-
me.
Yeah.
There's a window behind me. Did you know that?
Not anymore.
Not
No, it's not
anymore.
there anymore. That's what a fact.
Thanks for
You
you.
didn't know that, did you? Sat behind Chris drivers.
you
If he
didn't
needed to, he could bust his hand through a very thin piece of plasterboard
Into an interior window.
into an interior window and then fall to his death in the middle of the building.
Yeah, it's a hole in our building all the way down to the ground.
Yeah, it's a light well. I think the idea
Light
is,
well, yeah.
where light comes from the top and brings light to the inside windows of the
So we
building.
all feel happy.
yeah.
That's why we blocks it off.
Yeah.
Do you think we should do that eventually? Just
What?
get a Hat Chat studio where people can watch us from outside, like MTV used
Yeah,
to do.
like any like
in
the
New York,
breakfast TV
where it's just like they've
shows,
just
yeah.
got a load of people just like at the windows, like
I
watching.
had that idea for Minecraft. Do you remember? I had this whole VIP
you did,
idea
yeah.
where we would do a series or whatever, but there'd be a
Watch
VIP box where people could join the server if they're VIPs and just watch us.
Yeah.
Which is a really bizarre idea.
Quite
It's
good
'cause you can
idea.
make them
Still,
invisible.
like nowadays in the world of like micro transactions in terms of people paying for little privileges, like no, probably ahead of your time.
What can I say? We always are. Like Fortnite.
Just like
We just
Fortnite.
played it a little bit earlier than everyone else. And then they changed the game type.
They did.
And now it's...
I like the PvE element, not the
popular
PvP. The wave-based one.
It was mentioned on the old hatchet. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Did you
Oh,
guys
that was horrendous.
hear the story about the Brazilian
saw the
woman
video.
who was arrested after taking a corpse to sign a bank loan?
Oh my god.
Yeah, grim, huh?
That's horrible.
Yeah, it was weekend. She did weekend at Bernie's. She kind of literally took him in there. Was he in a wheelchair? Did she wheel him in?
Wheeled him in.
Wheeled him in.
Just like,
Lifted his hand up to sign in for it. Isn't that fucking nuts? Says
Oh my god.
so when it's just the most obvious sentence here. When Erica D'Souza wheeled it in her lethargic-looking uncle into a Brazilian bank, clerks quickly sensed something was amiss. Okay, he is a dead man. It's a visibly dead man. So I don't think he's well. He doesn't look well at all. Remarked one distrustful employee. Who wrote this? And
This is the Guardian as well. This is not even the Mirror.
$3,250 loan. So, but I don't think it went through.
Weird.
Shame. So, if you were thinking of trying to get loans using
A
dead
corpse.
relatives,
Doesn't work.
don't do it.
You need their
I know that you
consent,
were
right?
thinking- I know you're thinking to do such a thing.
So fucked, isn't it?
I'm guessing the angle
That's
she was
really
going
fucked.
for.
It sounds like something out of a comic or like a cartoon,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
I guess she
Or
was
an
going
episode
for
of Always
the
Sunny.
I'm the carer of this person. They are unable to make decisions for themselves, so I am their guardian, and they need a loan of £250,000. Please.
They're unable to make their own heartbeat. This is crazy. They shouldn't be wheeled around. That's insane to me.
It's just like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's us or like UK, but the idea of dead people being so close and utilizing them in that way is like I'm so freaked out by it.
Yeah, have you ever seen a dead body?
Yeah, that's the thing. We're very,
that's a
shielded,
very good-
shielded from the grim stuff.
We saw one on Vegas, on the street.
I didn't know he was dead though.
Well, they
There was
look.
there was like some sort of was it a shooting? Was it?
I think it was a car crash or something.
I don't know. So I guess I have, maybe
We probably have.
not up close. That was far away.
Yeah.
It just looked like a shape. But yeah, there's no I've never seen a dead body up close.
No, we're so detached from it, like Smith says. Like the idea of death is just.
Well, we're shielded from it. More
Yeah.
so, like the public services deal with it, like police and paramedics and
Maybe that should be part of the
doctors and
education
nurses.
system.
Yeah, is that
Yeah, probably.
How early on is that trained in terms of like do you?
Pretty fucking early.
Yeah, because I imagine it's.
All of the police
You got
I know
friends, yeah.
see dead bodies in their first year usually. And like some really horrific shit as well, because like if you've got a dog and you don't get discovered for a couple of days, the dog starts eating you.
Yeah, of course.
No, and you just have to deal with that. And also, yeah, like paramedics deal with it, nurses, doctors, they all deal with that.
Yeah, right. It's,
And, yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
just
really get
something
mentioned, but like, that's
we don't have
that's
to deal
a pretty
with.
big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they have to deal with stuff that you wouldn't have to deal with. Like, what if anyone died in your home? What's your process? Just
Called 999.
Like, do you use the body to go and get a bank loan? Or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
If I have a wheelchair
Or give
nearby.
it 20 minutes and then call. Get that bank loan.
How long are you going to be, ambulance?
Oh,
Can you like delay it by half an hour? I need to go to
I've only
Lloyd's.
just got the puppet strings.
I got to go to.
You just managed to get the arms going.
They need a loan. They need a loan.
I filled his body with hot water that I've piped into his ass. Do you think that would
What
work?
if you were in a what?
Filling up the cavity of a dead body with hot water to keep him
God.
a little less rigor mortis-y.
I don't know, but I think you certainly discover like all those things you hear about, like whether they evacuate their bowels and stuff, whether that's true.
And rigor
Because
mortis.
you'd be right, and well, yeah, rigor mortis has happened. It
No,
does happen.
immediate erection for.
You'll get the
penises.
erection. Honey, I've got a rigor mortis over the dead body in our lounge.
No, it's the dead body that needs them.
You
That
should.
gets them usually.
The fact that you've got an erection is a whole different thing. It's a whole different.
No,
thing.
you got it wrong.
And I'm really judging you now.
I'm calling the police.
What if you were in a forest with a friend and they just died?
And
And your phone didn't work. What are you doing? Are you dragging their body through the forest?
No.
Smith's got
probably
that
not.
cool watch
just gonna
that
put a
you can do
little-
emergency service stuff.
Yeah, I
Just
can
set
get
up a little
satellite
beacon.
connection.
I think our phones can now.
Yeah, iPhones can as well.
Sweet.
Because a little satellite thing comes
Yeah.
up. I don't know how. Is it just emergency services only?
Yeah, I think so. Or it's just exceedingly expensive because it's
Yeah.
basically a satellite phone.
Yeah,
But yeah, you're right. I think it's probably dialed. Also, I'm not entirely sure how well it works outside of the US.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's like
Oh.
it's designed for like Californian national parks and things like that. I have no idea whether fucking, Avon Constabulary knows how to find a bloke with an Apple Watch or not. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you just hope it doesn't happen. Always wear a belt, as we learnt with about tourniqueting, if you can, especially if you're going out somewhere in the woods or something. Just wear a belt, because the most likely way you're going to die in the UK at least is blood loss. Yeah.
Sepsis, maybe.
That's
why they always die of sepsis in films.
Yeah.
It's like always, he died of sepsis.
Yeah.
Of course.
Shit.
Yeah.
Saw those Jane Austen movies.
Romance ones.
The bloodletting. Get the leeches.
I mean, man, we need more leeches. We need more leeches. That's the secret.
Leeches had it going.
Where did we see a load of leeches? It was on the hill up to Penny Fen.
Fugloads in that little lake.
Yeah, and that guy took his shoes and socks and started wading in.
When we were walking up this big, small mountain in Wales, halfway up there's this really nice lake, which looks lovely. And when it's hot and stuff, you're like,
it's very stagnant.
It'd be great to get in there. It does look a bit stagnant. It probably is. And also sheep shitting it constantly. You just don't drink it. But anyway, I was like, I've been up here before, and I nearly went in myself, and then I looked in there, and look how many leeches there are, and you can literally see
them swimming.
You can see them with the naked eye. Oh, there's a leech just swimming around, and we're like, oh god, yeah, that's grim. And then you continue walking all the way up the hill, and then you get another couple 100 feet higher, and we look back down, and we just saw this guy strip it off walking in. We're just like, oh my god, he's gonna get covered in leeches. He just came out looking like Tentacular or whatever that Pokemon is.
Who was it who told me this? You're not supposed to swipe them off because it tears or something that causes infection. Whereas
there's a way to get
you
them
have to put a lighter to their tail or something.
So that they loosen.
There was a method that he mentioned, and he said, the best way to do it is to either burn them off so they can then just release naturally.
Well, how do you do it as part of a medical procedure?
What?
When you put leeches on?
I don't know.
How do they take them off?
I've never been in a medical procedure which is a required one. Not in this century.
Well,
maybe there are. Maybe it's still being used. I don't know, but
maybe.
Apparently, it is being used, according to a doctor of ours in the chat, Case Gober.
Definitely a doctor.
Who? Yeah. This is the person that sent us that message the other day on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
And
amazing.
They're saying, thank you very much for that, by the way. If you didn't hear from us, they use leeches after plastic surgery and skin grafts. They improve blood flow to grafted tissue.
Wow.
So I guess if you had a bit of new skin stuck on, you stick the leech on it, and it sort of draws the blood towards it. Perhaps helps to heal, helps to rebind the wound.
Thanks, really? Leeches.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
there's not made a synthetic version of that,
full of medicine,
like a pump or. They've not made a synthetic version of that, and then they can't just
I think a lot of the time it's probably not worth it, because also the leeches and stuff, as long as they're clean, they've got so much clever little chemistry going on inside them with their anticoagulant spit and all that sort of stuff that I think you could make it, but remaking nature with tech is really, really complicated and really hard. So maybe they're just this works, perhaps. I don't know. I think it's always usually a cost thing.
Yeah.
And I hear leeches cheap. I mean, they're literally just all over in that.
Yeah,
should we go and get some leeches?
Scoop a load.
Do you guys want to become leech men?
Leech barons.
Leech
barons. Yeah, Craig's there
what are you going to put a load on your back? Is that fine? I don't know if I want this.
You're just the holder of leeches.
It's going to be good. It's like cupping, but with leeches.
Yeah.
Not approved in any sense.
But just the trade, growth, and proliferation of leeches. We could become leech barons.
I want to be a leech baron.
Leech lords.
What if we bump into rival leech barons?
Huh?
What if we bump into rival leech barons?
Well, then we'll have to.
This is our leeching area, and then we end up just having kind of areas. Leechy, yeah.
Can we have long tailcoat
leech
suits and then canes with a leech encased in epoxy or something on top of the cane?
What about just a jar? Just a jar that we screw onto the top of the cane that's filled with water and live leeches.
Live leeches, nice. Our current product.
We should take the jar to a nightclub and just put one on the elbow of everyone.
Leeched, yeah.
Fuck,
I've got a leech.
The whole club gets leeched.
Try before you buy.
No reason why. It just gets the leech name out there.
Yeah, it does. Our last enterprise, ticks.
Ticks, oh god.
Not as popular.
Not as good.
Not as
ticks.
Yeah.
Oh, the ticks.
Ticked, yeah.
Ticks, for some reason, feel worse.
Far worse.
I think it's just something about the fact that you have to remove their head. You see their little legs.
They're not as useful
Seeing their
as
little
leeches.
legs is so gross. My first dog had one in his forehead, It looked like a little horn. And I was like, oh, Mum, what's this? Have you seen this? And like, she's like, oh, that's weird. I mean, kind of look really close. You see its little leg. I know that's really gross. I apologise. I know people eat stuff.
Fuck, that's
why
great.
do people eat stuff?
Yeah, it's your own fault.
But I do apologise for the visceral.
They're probably finished by now. It's like a 45-minute podcast.
Plucked it out.
True.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Make sure to pinch its head and it's gone. Easy. So don't worry
too much. As long as you do it right
and
and you
make sure
find
you
them.
use the tick juice or whatever it is on the back.
So it doesn't come back.
Just, regularly, semi-regularly, I think.
Oh, the spot on, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Get that on.
Well, there you go. That's educational.
That is, in a way. Yeah, if you've not done that
Also,
before,
tourniquet belt in the forest.
Yeah, if you're in a forest and things get fucking
If you blow an artery.
You've got that belt.
You snap your leg, you blow an artery.
Yeah.
That's going to kill you in minutes.
Yeah.
Get a belt around it and tie it tight.
Stop it from
Or if you see a
bleeding.
Bigfoot, you can tie him up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And get cash. Just film it properly.
Yeah, or just choke him out.
Film
horizontal.
Bigfoot properly.
Film him. If you see him, fucking film him.
Stay still. Don't be afraid.
A stabilized image.
Get it on a tripod.
Get on your knees. Stabilize your elbows. And just get a clean fucking shot of them. Same with anyone taking shots of UFOs, which are all over the place.
Stabilize
that shot. Otherwise, no one's going to believe your fucking shit.
I'd say don't bother filming it unless...
Don't bother. Don't bother. Because your story is as good as that shitty footage.
Yeah, you're just making the pool larger. It doesn't make the message any stronger.
Adding more questions.
Yeah.
Well, there's already so many questions. Just stay fucking still. Why is it like even in this day and age it should be really easy to take a shot.
You think
take
so?
A shot of Bigfoot now should be so simple.
Yeah, we would have found it by now, I think.
God. And you think with the practice, there's so many people with pets and stuff who take pictures of like kind of animals on the fly, like when they're doing crazy things. This should be like a holy shit, that's Bigfoot.
Imagine the first
Snapshot
actual
videos.
instance of Bigfoot is with like a ridiculous filter on it.
Yeah.
I accidentally had the dog filter on.
Sorry.
Yeah. His face is actually completely covered by the dog filter.
Sorry.
Well, he looks cute though.
That's all I had.
We're going to try and digitally recreate what his face may have looked like without the dog filter.
Well, thank you for listening to this Hat Chat podcast for today.
Indeed,
and a huge shout out to our supporters out there, whether it's on YouTube, Patreon, or Twitch. You can go help us out. And that keeps this...
Spread the Hat Chat word.
Spread the word.
We try to. I don't think it really gets... I mean, we do the shorts here and there.
Leaving reviews on your podcast platform's a really good way of helping us.
Apparently
if you've got a spare second.
Yeah.
It's like the people that are willing to do surveys, though.
This is it.
Like very, very small.
I'm in the same boat. Like, there's some stuff... But if I really enjoy it and I know it's like maybe not always going to be there, like actually trying to promote it would be probably worthwhile.
So yeah, if you can spare some time for that's as beneficial to us as anything. So also Fingles. Just like Jordan Falconer, I didn't thank you enough for our it's Halo-inspired theme tune this week for our Fingal.
Yeah, there's a rocky element to it.
What, Beyonce?
Yeah, Beyonce.
Yeah, exactly that. Hatchat-films.com is where you send your Fingals and funny news if you come across anything like that. We very much appreciate that as well.
Yes.
And we all collaborate and collect our community on Discord, of course. The best platform for communities.
Yeah.
Discord.gg/hatfilms.
The best we've got. Like democracy. It's the best method we've got right now.
And we'll see you all next week for some more of this. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.